I'm dropping a song March 1st. It's called Baby Baby, coming out.
Shit, it's fire.
Yeah, it's more of like a pop rock vibe. It's actually a little different. I had all the freedom in the world. I could do whatever I want, so I did. And then I realized it was really destroying me as a person. He came up behind me, hit me in the back of my head, and that knocked me out instantly. And then on top of that, I fell face first into asphalt.
Baby, don't you leave me alone, don't you leave me alone, don't you leave me alone. Baby, 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 don't you leave me alone.
Welcome to the Tested and Twisted podcast. I am your host. My name is Chase Shot, and today we have Mr. Kado Lee. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing so good, man.
Amazing.
I feel like the weather in Florida is finally starting to warm back up.
Very sunny day. My girl's actually on the boat right now with her friend, and I'm a little jealous.
Well,
but I'm glad I'm here.
Are you gonna head over that way once you get done with this?
No. She's not gonna be out very long. But yeah, it is a beautiful day out.
Yeah,
Like
I feel like
in the sky.
you've lived in Florida your whole life, but I've only lived here for 3 years, and this has been like the roughest winter yet.
Yeah, dude, it's really weird. Very, very strange. Usually, like I was saying earlier, it doesn't rain like this, and the rain on top of the cold, it's just kind of depressing. But I feel like it's over. It hasn't really rained like it was. I don't know, because we live a little ways away from each other, but in Cape Coral, it rained for like 2 weeks straight.
That's brutal.
It was weird, dude.
Yeah, I don't remember. The problem is during the week, like I'm in hibernation mode, bro. Like I don't even leave the house. Like I'm just in here working and just like.
And you texted me at like 4 a.m. the other day. Is that
That's
when
I
you
wake
usually
up.
wake up?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So what time you go to bed? Like 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 8, 9.
They say 9 to 5 is the healthiest sleep schedule.
I would say my schedule is either like it's like 7 to 2 or 3, or 8 to like
What
like
are you
3 or
doing
4.
at 2 or 3? Why you wake up that early?
I just function at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even today we woke up at 4:30, 5. I function the best in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's super hard because like all my friends are like hitting me up like, yo, you guys trying to go to dinner at 9 p.m.? And I'm like, fuck no, dude. Like, like, are you kidding me? That's late.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm going to be asleep.
Yeah, like, and I during the weekends I try to adjust my schedule, but it can be hard because like my body still wants to wake up at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. I would love to be a morning person, but I'm just not. And that's just how it is. And it's probably because I go to bed so late. But I also love the nighttime. It's like my time to do whatever I want. I unwind in the night, like I'm grinding from when I wake up till probably 5 every day. I work, go to the gym, and then after that's done, I can do whatever else I want to do. And, that's not errands, that's not shopping, doing other things I need to do. So after I do all that stuff, it's even a little later. And then I unwind. I smoke my joint of the day. I don't smoke in the morning or daytime when I'm doing my stuff. I just zone out. I can't focus, But when I'm chilling at night, I smoke my joint. I'll play some video games. Big video game guy.
Hell yeah.
I just kind of my escape. I'll write music, sit in my car, write music. It's cool.
See, we have the same things going on. I just do mine in the morning. I like to unwind before my day gets stressful, so that when my day is stressful, I can handle it accordingly. Because that's
a good way to look at it. I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, my career path outside of podcasting is a bit stressful, so my days can be pretty intense. So I like to wake up, work out first. Like I wake up, I read, meditate, work out, and then Emma and I get to spend a little bit of time together before my day gets crazy.
That's cool, man.
So I start my day out with positives so that I can make the bad time of my day, which tends to be work. Even though it's not bad, it's a blessing. I have a great career path.
Like everyone says you should love your job and stuff, but I don't really believe that. I mean, like I do. Like if you can genuinely wake up every day and do the same thing every day and love it, like good for you, But I'd rather make good money.
Yeah.
And then retire early.
Yeah.
And then I can do things I like. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I'm in a position right now where my finances are far above average, but I'm pretty unhappy with my day-to-day job, and that's why I have podcasting, so that I can get that fix of happiness, you know?
Yeah.
Like, my job isn't going to make me happy.
Yeah.
The finances behind the job make me happy, obviously, and they allow me to do things like this and travel and so on and so forth, but I would like to get to a point where podcasting is like my number one.
Yeah,
you
facts,
know?
man.
And if I want to, I can move the career choice, I want my main income to come from podcasting eventually.
That'd be amazing, bro.
That'd be nice. And then
Great goal to have.
eventually roll that into maybe opening a couple of rehab centers.
Nice.
And I really want to eventually have a dog rescue like foundation of some sort, like an actual
adoption center.
Yeah, like actually like go out to Lehigh, buy 20, 30 acres of land and have dogs that I find and find them homes and so on and so forth. That's the end goal.
That'd be great.
Little Kado Lee, what were you like when you were a child, man?
I was a little shithead.
Yeah.
Gonna be real, yeah. I was always liked having fun, man. I liked getting into a little bit of trouble. It's just exciting, you know, the adrenaline. Always had a bunch of friends. I've always been a big friend person. I love my homies so much. They a huge part of my life. If I consider you a friend, you're a family to me.
Yeah, I feel
You
that.
know, I can bring you over, introduce you to my real family, you know, and just the morals of everything. Like, my friends really are my family. But yeah, I feel like I grew up like a normal kid, you know?
Was playing sports, kicking it.
Playing sports. I was a big soccer kid. Did travel soccer for years, and I loved soccer. But I could have went to college for it for sure. I was actually really good, and my team was really good. But I just goofed off in high school. You know, got sidetracked partying and girls, and yeah, so the soccer kind of faded away. But I don't regret nothing.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like it's important to try not to regret shit. I feel like once you start, sitting there thinking about the things you regret, it can turn into shame, and it just builds, you know?
Truly, everything that happens, wherever you're at right now, you're there for a specific reason, and it's not wrong. It's not, it's just where you're at, and everything you did in life to get there was meant to be, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel that. What was the relationship with your parents like?
I've always been really close with my parents. My mom is like my angel. She, in my eyes, is the perfect parent. Like I was saying earlier, just the amount of sacrifice she gave of her own life to make sure that me and my sisters were taken care of, and everything, is amazing. So that's really where I strive to find, or what I strive to find in my wife, is something similar to my mother. Me and my dad have always been real close, and we're closer now that I'm grown probably than when we were kids. They did get divorced when I was like 14 or so, because my dad got into drugs and kind of ruined the family, but I feel like it's very common, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
the divorce rate is more than half, and it used to not be more than half, so just shows you stuff's getting worse. But yeah, he was a little absent sometimes, but it's never like he didn't care. He just messed up. He's always cared, and I've known that, so that's a good thing for me. Very settling. I know he loves me and my sisters, but he had a really, really shitty childhood. So it's like, from where he comes from, he did pretty good.
What drugs did he get on, if you don't mind me asking?
Heroin.
Okay.
Yeah, it started with pills, oxycodone. Is that how you say it? Oxycontin?
Well, there's two.
There's two, right?
Yeah, so there's Oxycontin, which I don't even know if that's it. I think they got rid of Oxycontin and made it oxycodone now.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I think because it was when it first really popped off. He did roofing his whole life. Started roofing at 18, and that messes your body up. Believe it or not. So yeah, he had bad back problems, and he went to the doctor, and they got him on pills, of course, right away. And yeah, he was doing the oxys, and then it just, I don't know, just slowly graduated to heroin.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is such a
It's
common story.
It's so common. Heroin's, it's a cheaper, more potent dose of oxy.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It does the same thing to you.
It's all the same shit.
And but yeah, he's been clean now for probably close to 10 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. Pretty proud of him for that. I couldn't imagine the struggle of overcoming addiction. I've overcome little addictions.
Mm-hmm.
More like substance abuse. I used to abuse drugs, but not one drug.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I never thought like, oh, I have a problem,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like I'm addicted to one thing. I just like to be fucked up. And then after a while, I realized like I'm fucked up pretty frequently, and it's like,
You said looking at the calendar, you got a lot of
Yeah.
red X's on the calendar.
yeah. And I was like, damn, man. And yeah, it was really this girlfriend I had at the time. We both just got into drugs heavy, and
What age was this at?
like 19 and 20.
Okay.
It was like a 2-year span.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just wilding out. Just graduated. Feel like I remember the feeling of graduating. It felt like I was done with life or something. I don't know. Like I won. Now it's all gonna be fun.
Freedom.
And, yeah, freedom. Exactly. That's what it was. And yeah, so I had all the freedom in the world. I could do whatever I want. So I did. And then I realized it was really destroying me as a person. I was very like impatient and angry, and I would just snap. Yeah, I had no patience, and morally, I was just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the morals I do now. I didn't have the morals I was raised with, and I was just doing stuff that I wasn't proud of. Just screwing people over type shit. And yeah, it was definitely the drugs, though.
Do you have any specific examples, if you don't mind talking about it?
Yeah, just being shady, bro. Like, just being shady, like hooking up with friends' girlfriends and stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is still just a huge shame to me. It makes me feel terrible about myself. But I've definitely changed, and I would never do something like that ever again, because the shame and guilt that comes from it is just so 100% not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably...
Makes you hate yourself, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, and you should.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't hate yourself, but you should feel bad.
You should feel
If
bad.
you don't feel bad, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm sure it's very similar to the shame and guilt of cheating on a partner. And,
Yes, exactly.
And
I did that too when I was 18. It's all in the same category, just no morals.
yeah,
Just
I feel that.
temporary satisfaction compared to eternal satisfaction,
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. How did everything, just going back to the situation with your dad, because obviously that played a pretty big role in your life. I imagine that the addiction, it had an impact of some sort. How did that all surface? How did it come out?
My mom was always so good at shielding and sheltering me and my sisters, and I was the oldest, so I knew more than them. And I always knew, because they had told me a couple times as a kid, like, we're getting divorced, but then it never happened, and they would keep trying. And I knew my dad had drug problems, probably since I was like 12 or 13. But he was doing pills way before that, and I had no idea. Had no clue. He was just always at work.
Mm-hmm.
And he would come home in the evening, and I would see him for a little bit. But yeah, I had no idea. And my mom kind of just dealt with this alone and just always put a smile on for us, So I had no idea really until I started growing older, and, you realize stuff as a kid the older you get.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then they got divorced when I was like 14, 15. I think about 14. And once that happened, I was really mad at my dad. I actually didn't talk to him for probably a year or so. And at that time, I knew everything, though. Yeah, she told me.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew all that right about when they got divorced.
Do you remember how that made you feel? Just like real...
Terrible.
Yeah.
It was very sad. And I had a lot of anger.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of sadness and anger that I tried to cover up, and I did. I just occupied myself with friends. I would be at friends' houses a lot just because it was an escape, But yeah, it was a horrible feeling, man. I felt betrayed and felt like he didn't love me and all that.
Yeah, that's it's hard, me being an addict, hearing you say that, because it's just like you realize how much
the effect it has on everyone else around you that loves you. Yeah.
And obviously you know that when you're in addiction, you recognize that this is going to cause a lot of problems and a lot of pain for a lot of people, but it doesn't really register until you clear your mind and you start looking at the damage and you start having to do damage control, and you realize like, oh, this actually played a much worse part than I thought it was going to, way more serious than I thought it was going to.
It's hard to realize that when you're not sober. You're so cloudy and your judgment is just not there, and the reality of everything that it is not there. It's kind of just like you said, like like it's not good, but you don't realize the true effect until you're sober and you like take a step out of your shoes and look at everything around your life. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but.
So when you started using and partying, it obviously started out as just like, hey, we're having a good time, whatnot, and the next thing you know, you're getting messed up all the time. Did you end up going into like a rehab center, or were you able to just control it yourself?
No, I definitely did it all myself.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm religious, and I believe in Jesus and God, and that helped me a lot of prayer, going back to church, and just my family. Started spending more time with my family because I realized my friends, and I know I was doing all this shady shit, but so were they. They weren't good people neither, and people were fucking my girlfriend too. Yeah, and it's like, karma's a full circle. So.
Yeah, it happens.
But yeah, so I just realized like, all the people I had in my life, they weren't truly, they didn't care about my best interest. My best interest was not their interest, And so yeah, once me and that girl broke up, and that was really when I was able to, like, it's like I was hypnotized, for real. I was so lost and so gone, and like I would do these bad things and not feel no regret. And I just can't even believe that, because like now I look at it and it's just crazy to me. I was ever acting like that, really. I was raised a lot better than that.
It feels like two separate people.
Yeah, 100%. I'm 100% two separate people from what I was, But everyone changes. You grow up and you change, hopefully. Not everybody does.
Emma and I were literally just talking about this on our drive over to the Summer Moon Coffee Shop. If you live in Florida, Summer Moon Coffee Shop, go hit it up. It's amazing. We were talking about how sad it is when you meet somebody who's, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and you realize that they have learned nothing from life.
No, dude. No, and we talked about this too. Like being 40 years old and still struggling with the same problems you struggled with 20 years ago when you were in your 20s, but you haven't done anything to work on it. And that's what happens. You don't stop getting older. Your mind may not change, but your age does. And it's like, and I can't imagine how hard it must be then to try and change after you've been living like that for so long, It's sad.
Yeah, habits tend to get stronger.
They do.
If the longer you sit in that habit, the stronger it gets and the harder it is to get away from it. And it's just sad that there's a lot of people in this world who, we were just talking not too long ago about someone that I know who is stuck in a racist way of thinking. And it's like, you're 60 years old, dude. You know? And it's like, it's just sad. The world's changing and you're just the same person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fucking grow up, figure it out, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, especially nowadays. Like, you know, being racist is just mind-blowing to me because there's black people everywhere.
Right.
In office buildings, athletes, you know, actors, like, they're just people.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like, I've always, I forget who told me this when I was younger, but it's like you see a man walking down the street and he's dressed in baggy clothes, got his hands in his hoodie pockets, hoodie up. It don't matter what skin color he has. He looks sketchy. You see a man walking down the street in a suit with a briefcase. Dude could be black. You think he's gonna rob you?
Right.
Like, dude's dressed up like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
motherfucker looks good.
It's about how you portray yourself.
Yeah, it's all about presentation.
It is, but then still motherfuckers will be racist.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, you're not even thinking with logic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
It's sad is what it is.
It's very sad, bro.
It's
very
like we're all just trying to, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to live our life at the highest capability possible to us, you know, like whatever we're just trying to fucking live our lives, man. Everyone's just trying to do the same thing. We're just trying to get home at the end of the day to our families and be happy. And we have all these external forces trying to make that not possible. And it's just, it's tough. It's tough.
It is.
So eventually you break up with this girl who probably wasn't the best influence on you.
Yeah.
And
we weren't good influences on each other. It wasn't just her.
Yeah. I mean, it always goes both ways,
and
right?
The people around us, the friends we had, and all that.
You get sober. What is your life? And I know I say sober, I say that loosely. I mean, obviously, everyone's got a different definition of sober. For some people, that might be no cocaine. Some people, that might be no drinking, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But you clean up your life. And what steps are you taking after that?
So that's when I started going to the gym every day.
Okay.
I graduated high school at about 160. And then after a couple years of doing drugs, I was 130.
Damn.
So, yeah. And I didn't even realize how skinny I got until I broke up with that girl. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, damn, bro, I got woman shoulders. You know? Like, I got a bird chest. My shit goes in.
Yeah. I got a woman shoulders.
For real. And I had tried to work out for years. And I could only last like a couple months. And then I would just quit because I was like, I don't enjoy this. What's the point of life if you don't enjoy it, you know? And I would quit. But no, after that, I stuck with the gym, and I still go to the gym like 5-6 days a week. And but yeah, that was about 5 years ago. That was probably one of the main things that I could do every day that was just positive for me. And it was such a good feeling because it was like one of the first things in my life I found that I loved to do that wasn't destroying me. You know, it was actually, it built my confidence. It was physically good for me. Like, there was nothing about it that was destroying me. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a lot of tattoos too. I feel like that really helped me just like love myself. Yeah. You know, like modden my body out how I want it to look.
Fuck yeah.
You know, I love tattoos, bro.
Me too.
We're literally just GTA avatars. And like, we're running around. You can do whatever you want. You got a face tat.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
If it makes you happy, get it done.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, you can do whatever you want, and you just gotta just love yourself. Make yourself look dope. You know, wear stuff you like to wear. Wear jewelry. You know, I used to not have earrings. I used to wear no rings. I was just like embarrassed. I don't for what, you know, I have no idea. I was just like embarrassed to be something, you know, and yeah, I used to be so different, bro. I'm thinking about the way I used to think about life and myself, and I really have came a long way. Isn't it a pretty good feeling?
Isn't it crazy how you would rather be put in no category at all rather than a category at a certain point in your life? You're like, I just want to be nothing, so that no one can pick and choose, and
No one can
say
judge me.
this. Yeah,
No one can
judge.
have an opinion on me if there's nothing to have an opinion on.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
And then you get older and you start to realize, like, oh man, this isn't making me happy. Let me switch things up a little bit. Yeah, that's crazy. Going back to the face tattoo thing, right? Since I've gotten this tattoo, people keep asking me, like, what about if you go to a meeting? What if you do this? What if you do that? And in my mind, like, I just don't think like that. Like, what if I go to a meeting and someone sees I have a face tattoo? I know that if I went to a meeting and someone had a face tattoo, I wouldn't give a fuck. I don't think that it makes you I don't think that the way you look makes you anything.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
Like,
and it really has to do with like, because you what do you do again? You
freight logistics.
So you schedule like the drop offs and everything. Yeah, right. So that trade alone is not the most, like, I'm not gonna say professional,
right.
but like office, like there's some jobs where you cannot have a face tat if you're high up, you know. But like the roofing, what my family does, I used to work for a different roofing company other than my parents, and my boss had a skull and bones tattoo right here.
Hell yeah.
And he would meet all these millionaires signing contracts, you know, and it's like no one gave a shit about his face tat.
Right.
They give a shit about your personality and how you carry yourself
And your work ethic.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
In a lot of situations that I'm in, I don't even end up meeting these people because I'm sitting down in rooms with people who are millionaires.
Yeah.
But they don't meet me until after there's already been, like, don't get me wrong, like, there's customers that you make the call, then you go meet them, and then business starts. But in a lot of situations, it's like I get a lead from someone I'm already doing business with. They vouch for me and say, like, this dude's a good hard worker. He gets shit done. Like, you guys should let him move your freight. And then I start moving their freight, and then I'm in the meeting with the CEO and the CFO and the executives. And then they can see me, and it's like, okay, this motherfucker's already been grinding his ass off, getting shit done better than the X, Y, and Z company. Does it matter if he looks a certain way?
No.
You know what I mean?
No. And
so
it's more and more becoming like culturally appropriate, I guess you could say. Because, yeah, back in the day, like, if you had a face tat, you were gang affiliated.
Oh, 100%.
There was no questions about it. And even further before that, if you had any tattoos at all, you were gang affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of a mafia or part of, you know, Crips, Bloods, whatever. Like, you were involved in some shady shit. And now it's more of just a way of expressing yourself.
Exactly.
And people are realizing that. And when our generation is old, 70, you know, and we're the millionaires dealing with the younger people, we're definitely not going to give a shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's not going to matter. So it's changing slowly but surely.
Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. Like, once all the, and this is, sorry, but the old people die off, how much the world is going to change. You know, like, there's just a lot of, like, old thinking going on, and eventually we'll be the old guys and we'll have old thinking, right, in a way, but we'll be more accepting than the generation before us, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And it's just interesting to think about the evolution of the human and how things change and what becomes acceptable, and
Yeah.
it's cool.
It is. It's very cool.
So eventually we get to a point where you're like, I'm gonna give this music shit a try.
Yeah, I was I'm 26. I started doing the music at like 23.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I started so late. It feels so late just because I could have started at like 17 or 18. But yeah, I didn't have the confidence at all. I used to make music on GarageBand on my phone.
Yeah.
And it was god awful. It was so bad.
Did you save any of it?
Yeah, I still have the GarageBand app.
Yeah.
And like you can like re-download all the stuff, and I'll listen to it every now and then. And but I was just rapping about dumb shit, sex, drugs, you know, running up on people like I'd have ever done that in my life. Like, nah. And it was all funny and dumb, and I knew that, and that's why I never released any of it, because it was just, I knew it was bad. But yeah, I remember, and actually that girl I dated, I remember she told me one time, she was like, no, you can never do that.
Oh God.
She's like, this is terrible. And it really hurt my feelings, not gonna lie. Because the longer I was on the GarageBand app, I started to take it serious, or I tried to at least, and I would like put little things out on SoundCloud, and I remember her reaction to it just totally crushed my confidence. And once that happened, I was just like, okay, like you're right, you know. And then and I mean, she wasn't even wrong for saying that, because it was ass. But it's like she was not very nice about it. She was a mean girl.
Yeah, I mean, I think when anyone does anything the first time, it's not going to be great.
No,
you know,
it was terrible.
It's music, podcasting, art, painting, drawing.
Yeah,
it's all going to be terrible at the beginning.
Yeah,
you know, the people who separate themselves are the people who keep doing it. That's the
exactly.
difference.
Yeah. So really, I've been interested in the recording and the writing process since I was like 18. But yeah, I didn't start taking it serious till 23. That was I remember I was with this other girl years later. You know, I was 22 or whatever, 23, and we broke up, and that sucked for me. I kind of ruined that relationship because I was crazy. I was acting nuts. I was talking about the trust issues earlier. I was crazy, bro. You know, being hella toxic and shit. And eventually, we broke up. It was kind of a mutual decision because it was just obviously not working. And then after that breakup, I was just like at such a carefree point. I was like, man, like nothing matters. Everything I've worried about, all the judgment, all that, it just don't matter. I'm just gonna do it, you know. And I dropped my first song, and yeah, and that's it. Ever since then, I've taken it real serious. I've got like a little over 30 songs out right now.
You got quite the catalog, man.
Yeah, it's not nearly what I want it to be. I would love to have a goal for me is to have 100 songs.
Okay.
I feel like that's very just, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's a solid number.
Release 100 songs. That's a lot of songs. So yeah.
What's your creative process like right now?
So I'm super, 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 super picky with pretty much everything about it. I don't have many features on my stuff because, one, I'm not paying for features, at least a lot. I'll pay a couple $100 or something if you're real tight and like it's a good deal. But I'm not spending thousands on features. I just don't care like that, and I don't got bread like that. I'm gonna be real to be spending on features, you know. So, well, I mean, I do got it. But I'm just not going to spend it on that.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm very picky with that. I don't really like having a lot of people on my stuff. I've only got a couple features. And then I'm very picky with beats as well. The amount of beats I listen to is insane. I'll listen to hundreds and hundreds and just not use any of them. And then I'll find the one that I really love, and then I stick with that.
Hell yeah.
And I'll buy the beat. And then the writing process, it's something I can't rush. Sometimes I've written songs in 2 hours. I've written songs in a month. You know, I've written half of songs, not used it for 6 months, then found a beat 6 months later, and it just clicks. What I wrote clicks with that beat. And so there's really no specific process I have for it. But I drive around a lot, just in life, working, going places, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when I'm driving, that's probably my main practice time.
So do you, and I'm just curious because I've always wanted to try making music. We talked about this the last time you were here. That I just want to try it just because I think it sounds fun, you know? It's like another challenge of some sort. Do you start with, like, do you find the beat and then you make the song to the beat, or do you write the lyrics out and then you kind of match it up and make it all?
Right. So a lot of songs, actually, I've wrote the lyrics to a different beat. But every song has a BPM, which is the beats per minute. It's the, you know, it's like a metronome, you know. And if songs have similar BPMs, you could rap the same lyrics on the same song.
Interesting.
And it would be the same tempo, you know. It could be a little off, but then I would go either just a little slower or a little faster with it to stay on beat. So yeah, I've absolutely written stuff, and actually like one of my biggest songs is called "Let Me Tell You." I wrote those lyrics on like this hard gangster rap beat, and it's so funny because the beat I found and released it on is like this like almost like a indie alternative, like it's like a soft guitar beat.
Interesting.
And yeah, once I heard that beat with those lyrics, I was like, this is it. This is the one.
That's crazy.
You know? So yeah, I try, and I'm also trying to be more patient with myself because I have this constant urge to just release music, you know, because I feel like I'm running out of time or something, but it's just an illusion in my head. I'm not running out of time. I need to take my time with this stuff and truly make it as good as I can make it. Excuse me. Because once I put it out, it's out forever. And I can't re-release it. I can't fix something on it, you know? So when I first started making music, though, I was dropping like once a month. And I still do that about maybe once every 2 months. But it wasn't as good, the stuff I released, you know, a couple years ago. Which is how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to get better at it, you know?
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't spend as much time on it. I would record a song. We would mix it for like an hour. And I used to get 8-hour sessions and come out with 6 songs. You know what I'm saying? Now I get an 8-hour session. I'll come out with like 2. I just spend more time on it. And my engineer is so dope. He records big people.
Well, shout him out.
I just told you, Mar Lavachi. That's his name. I call him Millie or Mar, but he's mad dope, man.
He's up in Clearwater?
He's up in Clearwater, yep, close to Tampa. And I love him so much because he fucks with me so heavy, and I'm a nobody, you know, not in a negative way. It's just true. No one knows who I am, really. My music is not blown up yet. And he records people way bigger than me, you know, way bigger. Famous people, straight up. And he still fucks with me. He's very, very true guy, very authentic, you know, so.
What does he say about your music?
He likes it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, I definitely got my own vibe. But he likes working with me because it's fun. You know, that's his job. Very professional. When he records famous artists, I can't even talk about it because I could get him in trouble. He has to sign paperwork
NDA
saying he can't discuss who's recording there for multiple reasons, you know. So I lost it.
You're good.
I lost my train of thought.
You're good.
Okay.
So I do that all the time.
Dude, this happened like 3 times last podcast, bro. I was like, I just spaced out.
No, you're good, bro. Going back to the creative process, has that developed over time, or has it kind of always been like the same shit for you?
No, I feel like it hasn't changed much. Sometimes I have nothing in my head. Sometimes I have a whole lot, you know? And it's very random, though. Like, I feel like people think, like, you write music, like, in the mountains, relaxing. Like, no, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I write lyrics, like, on my way to the gym.
Yeah.
In my car.
Yeah.
I love my car because I got a system. I'm alone, so I can just practice as I need to, you know? And it's just a great spot. And I'm like, you know, doing 2 things at once. I'm driving and writing music, getting things done, finding beats or whatever. So yeah, it hasn't really changed much. No, I've gotten better at it. But that's about it, probably.
So bring me back to your first show.
First show. Actually, you probably don't know who Trina is. She's
Sounds very familiar.
You know who? What's his name? Trick Daddy.
I know who Trina is.
She used to rap with Trick Daddy.
Yeah.
So my first show was I knew this promoter, and he's real cool, man. He throws shows, and what he does is he gets a bunch of littler artists like me, and they'll pay to perform as openers for big artists like Trina. And she's kind of old now. Like, not many people know who she is. So the crowd was older people.
Yeah.
They were probably like 40, 35 maybe. No, they were older than that. They were like some 50-year-olds there.
Hell yeah.
It was funny. And but yeah, so I was one of the openers there, and it was actually Mother's Day weekend, and my mom was there and my grandma.
Oh,
So I got
sick.
to bring them on stage, and I shouted them out, which was cool, you know. No one else did that, so I kind of stood out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like a 10-minute set. That's it. Got to perform 3 songs, and I was never so nervous to do something in my life. In the moment, I wasn't as nervous. I kind of just like blacked out for real. Like,
It sounds like your first fight.
yeah,
You know, like when you get in a
low-key.
fight, you're like
It's
all
like
amped up.
you're like,
and
all
then-
right, this is happening.
Yeah.
You know, and you just go with the flow, and that's kind of how it went. But beforehand, bro, oh my gosh, I was so nervous, so nervous. Like literally earlier in the day, I was curled up on my couch in a ball, just like feeling like I'm about to throw up because I knew it was about to happen that night. And for me to 5 years earlier tell myself, yeah, you'll never make music professionally, to about to perform my music that I wrote in front of, like, my first show was like 200 people.
That's a lot of people.
So it was a lot, bro, for and not to mention these shows are hood rap. I'm a little white boy, you know,
Yeah.
rapping real like melodically on a guitar beat. So I just stood out. I was the
Yeah.
only white dude there, which is cool. It's just I'm standing out.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
people are like, you see a white boy go up on stage to rap, they're like, okay, I want to see what he has to do. You
Right,
know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying? And so yeah, man, it was awesome though. And then I did a couple more shows for that same dude. And yeah, it was pretty much the same thing. Same vibe. I was one of the openers for the bigger artists. Lil Tyler was one of the main performers. You probably don't know who he is. You might. He's like a Florida rapper. He's got like a couple million followers. But he actually
Oh, no. I know who that is. I
he's
think
a
we talked about him last
young
time
kid, bro.
you were here.
He's like 17 or 18.
Okay.
But he flagged actually. He never showed up to the show.
Really?
And they paid him 10 bands.
Damn.
He never showed out. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty common thing in the music industry.
I mean, he's 18.
Yeah, you know.
He was actually at another show in Cleveland, a way bigger show. So
Yeah.
like,
Can't really knock him for it.
yeah,
you
it's
know?
like, I mean, his manager's fault really for the scheduling. But yeah, man, the performance is dope. Definitely built up a lot of confidence for me. It's a dream that I've accomplished. You know, I wouldn't even necessarily say I like to perform, but at the same time I do, because I don't like being the center of attention really. It's just not necessary for me. When everyone's looking at me, I get a little nervous, you know. But the fact that I'm able to perform my own music that I wrote, that's just the dopest thing ever to me.
Yeah, I imagine that feeling of being, just being able to put your art out
Yeah.
is just such a good
And
feeling.
it feels different when you're performing for people that don't know who you are, because, you know, obviously everybody at that show is not there for me. They're there for the main artist. I'm an opener. No one knows who I am. If I had my own show where people came to see me, it would be a whole different vibe. The confidence would be through the roof. You know what I'm saying? All these people are here to see me perform, hear my music. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be insane.
Are you at a point yet where you are kicking around the idea of putting on your own show?
Yeah, dude. I've been emailing. You know what Rolling Loud is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been emailing Rolling Loud. Every couple of days, I'll email them like a couple times a week. The same exact email. It's me saying, "Hey, I want to perform. Here's my music." You know, and I'm literally just spamming that a couple times a week. And hopefully, you know, I could be one of the openers for Rolling Loud, which would be amazing. Because I don't know if you know how it works, but they open up the festival at like 5 or something, 5 p.m. And all the headliners come on at like midnight. And then they start doing the shows at like 7. And the first opening artists, they're small. They're probably about, you know, like I've got like a couple thousand monthly listeners. And I was looking at these names in the very bottom of their performance list, and I was looking them up, and they got like the same following as me. So it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's definitely realistic.
And they don't have much of a crowd at all. It's really just people walking by. But just to be able to do that would be mind-blowing to me. Because I went to Rolling Loud 3 years in a row when I was a kid.
Yeah, full circle.
And it was just like, it was so cool to see these people up on stage, even if I don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. If I could perform at Rolling Loud, that would be mind-blowing to me.
What's the message that you're trying to put across with your music?
Pretty corny, I feel like, but just like love and positivity, you know.
We need that.
It depends, because some of my music is very personal, and like I've got some music that talks about me and my life and things I've went through, and then some of my music is literally just me talking about how much I love my life and love my friends, and it's not as personal. It's more of just a vibe. But either way, yeah, I'm not trying to talk about like sex and drugs a whole bunch. I'm not trying to talk about violence. But I do have some harder tracks where I just snap on. And it's more for fun to me, you know. It's funny. I try and experiment with different stuff. I have some music that's kind of like gangster rap, but not like 21 Savage or some shit. More like Mac Miller. Like, you've heard some of Mac Miller's hard shit.
I've heard
like,
all of it.
Loud.
Yeah.
Smile Back. Do you remember that one?
I love Smile Back,
bro. It's hard like that.
Yeah,
it's like white boy hard. You know what I'm saying?
White boy hard.
Yeah,
I love that.
So
shit.
it's not like 21 Savage or
or
you know, something like that. But
I feel like you need to make a TikTok about being white boy hard.
Yeah,
I feel like that would pop
white
off.
White boy hard. Y'all ever heard white boy hard music?
Hell yeah. We're gonna create a new genre. You're gonna create a new genre. Like we were talking about before we jumped on the podcast and actually hit the record button. I think it's only a matter of time before you blow up, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like you really stand out in the crowd when it comes to the music shit. When I play your music for the people, when like I've had Emma listen to your music, I sent your music to people back in Minnesota and said, hey, what do you think? They all say the same shit. You stand out. Your music is different.
That's so cool, man.
And like
that's honestly amazing, because yeah, that's the goal, is to try and be a little different. I would love to get more exposure though. That would be great. It's so hard, but you know, the longer I'm doing it, the more and more I am just getting confident. You know, like I just started doing the TikTok stuff, and it's so dumb. Honestly, it's so dumb. It's so cringy, but it gets you so much exposure. It really does. I've been doing TikTok for like a month, and I've gotten so much support compared to Instagram. We talked about this. Everybody's so mean on Instagram, bro.
There's haters on Instagram.
But on TikTok, all these little girls love me. These young girls, they like love my stuff, and that is my audience. That is my main audience, is like 16-year-old girls. But it is what it is.
16-year-old girls also love Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, and that's the thing, is we were talking about this earlier, is like, if you can tap in with that younger generation, it's almost like the Logan Paul effect. Logan Paul had the 12-year-olds paying attention to him, and now those 12-year-olds are the same people who are paying attention to him, and they're fucking, 25.
Yeah.
And they're going to be lifelong fans.
Yeah. And
that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want. That's the market you want to tap into. Who are some of the, obviously your mom, who are some of the important people in your life right now that you look to for support?
I'm big family guy. I think I said that earlier. I got my pawpaw in my life, which is my mom's dad. He's like a dad to me. He's like a second dad. We actually just got, I'm gonna show the camera. He's 70 years old and he's been against tattoos his whole life. But we just got, look at it, the matching Jesus tattoos.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's very religious, and he's very spiritual and all about Jesus. And we were sitting on his back porch one day, and he was like, if I ever got a tattoo, this is what I would get. And he showed me. I was like, I'll get it with you. And he looked at me. He's like, let's do it, bub.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, what? That was crazy, because the first tattoo I got, I showed him. He was like, why? He's like, why did you do this? And so he's came a long way.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, we just got matching Jesus tattoos.
Where did he get his location wise?
Right here on his arm,
That's
just
so
straight up.
tight.
He's like, I don't want to hide it. I want to show it to everybody. I'm like,
what a G,
hell yeah,
bro.
Papa. I know.
What a
70
G.
years old, first tattoo.
That's sick.
But yeah, Papa, he's huge in my life. I love him so much. He actually lived in Ohio, moved down here when I was born, because I was born in Ohio, moved down to Florida when I was like 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm basically from here. But when my parents did that, he moved with us because he wanted to have a relationship with me. And because he did that, we've been so close my whole life, you know. So I would love to just give him like $250,000 one day and just
Feels so good.
just have him never work again and just die like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got my 2 little sisters. We're pretty close. My middle sister, her boyfriend, they're probably gonna get married soon. I'm pretty close with him. He'll be my brother-in-law once they get married. So he's like my brother. I love that kid. My dad, I'm pretty close with him. I have my couple friends that I see every week, and it's like 2, maybe 3 dudes, probably 2. You know, like I love Dave. Dave's one of my best friends. We just live so damn far away from each other.
Yeah, Dave's the homie though. He's a great human.
And he works so much, so it's hard to see him a lot, but I see him as much as I can. Shout out Dave. My boy Trey, one of my closest homies. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm a very routine person. You know, I work throughout the week. Unfortunately, I'd love to not work and do music, but I need to pay for the music somehow. You know what I'm saying? So
you got a girl in your life?
Oh yeah, and my girl. We've just talked so much before, I forget.
Yeah,
to
I feel
mention
you.
things. Me and my girl are very close though as well.
That's the thing that you guys don't realize is that when we have guests come here, sometimes we'll have conversations off camera that are 10 times better than the pod. And
Crazy.
I'm trying to get better about shifting the conversations off camera to on camera. It's just once you get rolling and you start vibing, it's hard to like, all right, now let's stop this conversation and get in the studio and fucking start recording, you know? Like it's just hard to do that sometimes.
First time I was here, we talked for 2 hours before we turned any camera on.
And then like an hour after.
Yes.
And then like 2 hours on camera. Yeah, it's just like, it's
I was
a lot.
here for deadass like 4 hours.
Yeah. And yeah, man. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I love podcasts, bro. I like talking and
Yeah.
having meaningful conversations and like getting somewhere with our conversations, you know? So
Yeah.
I love podcasts.
Yeah, dude.
And I
it's
seen you
addicting.
did podcasts. I was like, hell yeah, man. I'm going to do one.
And one day I'm gonna be able to be like, yo, I did one of Kado's first podcasts ever,
Hell yeah.
and now he's
Hell
fucking
yeah.
rolling around in a Rolls Royce, paying for everybody's meals and shit. What if you were telling people today to listen to your 3 top songs, what would they be in your mind?
Well, I'm dropping a song March 1st. What is it? Like the 10th or something? So in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
That song is, in my opinion, the best song I've ever made. Quality-wise, it's clean. I only have like 2 or 3 clean songs where I'm not cussing or something. And so, yeah, that's cool for me. I've tried to clean up my music a little bit just because, you know, like I said, I'm trying to put out a more positive message for younger people. And the cursing just ain't necessary.
I agree.
It's been a part of my life, my whole life. And it's hard for me not to curse. It's just such a habit. And I try and work on it. But, yeah, I got this song. It's called Baby Baby, coming out. I actually showed you it last time I was here.
Shit, it's fire.
Yeah, it's more of like a pop rock vibe. It's actually a little different. I'm not really rapping, but I kind of am. So that's one that I would tell everybody to go listen to. Dude, I just love all my music so much. I love it all so much. I think Let Me Tell Ya, I mentioned that earlier. That's a great song. That one is so personal. It's called Let Me Tell Ya because I'm telling you about me. You know, starts off, let me tell you about a kid. So that's yeah, I pretty much talk about not my whole growing up, but from like the ages of like 18 to now probably is what's in that song. I love that one. And then I don't know, man. Make Me an Artist is a good one. I'm gonna give this one and one more. Make Me an Artist is a great one. That's very personal as well. That one talks about what has made me an artist,
Okay.
you know, and the things I've been through, how I've always been creative. It's a good one. You should listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vendettas. I love that one too. I got a music video for Vendettas, and it's crazy. It looks like some serial killer movie, but Vendettas was written about that girl, the first girl. I feel like I've talked about a couple girls. The first one who I did all the drugs with.
Yeah.
Yeah, she that shit really messed me up, and the feelings, you know, you feel them forever, not in that way, but you remember how you felt.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I wrote that song kind of about her in a negative way, but it's a good song, pretty catchy. It goes kind of hard. Music video is sick. That was a very fun one.
Yeah, your album art, I guess you would call it. You got dope shit, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
got,
I've made like 90% of it.
Yeah, and I was very shocked to hear that. I just assumed, you know, just like
Yeah.
how the world is. Like everyone hires people to do everything for them these days. When you said that, I was like, damn, bro, that is very impressive.
Thanks, man.
Very
yeah.
impressive.
It's not hard at all, really.
No.
There's a ton of photo apps on your, you know, you can get on your phone, and
But it's the eye, bro. Like not everyone can do that shit.
Yeah,
you know,
facts,
like you'll tell someone make me an album cover and they'll come out and fucking.
That's
it'll be some
another
bum
reason
shit.
why I don't like that, because like, how am I supposed to just pay you and then you just make it? What if I don't like it?
Right.
Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are taxing for cover arts. Like I did pay for cover art for Baby, Baby, because I really think this song can blow up. And I need the best art. And here, I'm gonna actually show you real quick. We'll show the camera too.
We should play a little, and you can send it to me and we'll add it in.
Yeah, you can like play it so the audio ain't messed up.
Yeah.
But it's gonna look something like that.
I like that. I like that. Hell yeah.
Got the pink vibe, baby, Kado Lee. I told dude he needs to take the parental advisory sticker out because it's clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, not one curse word. Positive vibes over here. But yeah, I went with the pink because I wrote it for my girl.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's an amazing song, bro.
thanks, man.
It's very, very catchy.
I like
very
it.
catchy.
I call it my camp rock era.
Hell
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
There is one thing, and I hate to end a podcast on a negative note, but this story is just so insane. Can you tell me the story about you in the drive-through?
Oh, getting jumped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get this in here because it's so crazy.
That is a crazy story. So yeah, I got jumped, crazy enough, and basically it happened. It was so random. Me and my boy. So first of all, I used to drink a lot more than I do now, and not like it was ever an addiction for me. Like I just was having fun, and I used to drink a lot more. I used to drive drunk a lot. Unfortunately, don't do that. Because all my friends have DUIs. I don't know how I don't have one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't do that no more, so that's good.
Same.
But we were on our way home from the bar. I was absolutely hammered. It was about 3 a.m., and we stopped through the McDonald's drive-thru. My friend at the time, he can be a cocky little asshole, especially when he's blacked out. But yeah, he's seen this group of kids. They were probably a couple years younger than me, and this happened when I was like 24, 23 maybe. He's seen this group of kids, and they were just smoking a blunt out in the parking lot. He rolls down the window. I'm driving my truck, this old truck that I used to have. He rolls down the window, just starts screaming at him. And I'm like, at first I'm laughing because he's just being an idiot, but they start taking it serious. And once I realized that, I'm like, yo, chill out. You know, I'm pulling him back in. He's hanging out the window, turned around like, you mother, pointing, screaming at him, saying crazy shit, bro. And I'm like, yo, chill out. Like I quote, you know, word for word said, something bad is gonna happen. I seen it coming. And yeah, and next thing you know, these dudes are surrounding my truck, and there's like 6 of them, just me and my boy.
That's never
And
good.
yeah, I'm a real good diffuser. You know, I'm not a violent person. I don't feel the need to fight, even if someone is insulting me. You know, I've always kind of been able to just not really care. I don't know. But yeah, they're screaming, you know, 1-on-1, get out the truck, blah blah blah. I'm like, Greg, don't get out the truck, bro. They'll go away. And next thing I know, one of the kids punches my truck, and I had just got this truck, so I was pissed. And I was like, okay, all right, this is ending right here. Put it in park. I get out. I walk up to the kid who hit my truck. I'm like, bro, come on. I'm like, we don't have to do this. Because they're saying 1-on-1. So I'm thinking, worst case, whatever. If this kid wants to try and hit me, whatever. And I'm drunk, too. Very drunk. So my judgment is just not there. And so I get out, and I walk up to him. I'm calm, you know. I did have my shirt off because I already had it off. I was just driving home, drunk, hot. It's Florida, you know. And I get out, and I understand how I can look scary. All the tats, and I'm kind of, you know, not buff, but I'm cut.
You're jacked.
I'm cut.
Don't even try to undersell it.
I'm light.
You wear baggy clothes, but you're jacked.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm light. I'm like 160. But yeah, so I understand how I can look intimidating, but I wasn't trying to be. And I got out, and I'm talking to him, and yeah, I guess when I was talking to him, his boy came up behind me. He actually walked all the way around the truck, like was so sneak about it. And I was talking to dude, he came up behind me, hit me in the back of my head, and that knocked me out instantly. And then on top of that, I fell face first into asphalt. Oof. And yeah, I woke up very confused. I thought I was fighting. When I woke up spinning in a circle with my hands up, and I was so confused. And then I couldn't open my eye, and I was like, okay. I like touched my face, see the blood. I'm like, okay, I got knocked the fuck out. But they had all left. Like, I guess like a couple minutes had passed by. My boy, he was a wrestler. So he really didn't get fucked up. He didn't get snuck up from behind either. So he was just kind of rolling around with a couple dudes. He was fighting like 2 dudes at once, I think. And he got a little scraped up, but no one hit him. And then he realized I was on the ground, dead. Like, I was literally knocked out for like 3 minutes, just face in the asphalt. And he comes over and helps me up. And that's when I come back to it, is him helping me up. And I thought we were fighting, so I'm just like looking, making sure no one's hitting me. And they were all gone. And yeah, we were like, well, we need to get out of here. Cops are about to be here. So we dipped. We go back to his house. I'm laughing because I'm like, just my adrenaline is rushing. I'm trying to be positive about the situation. I'm like, oh, I'm not that fucked up, you know. I just got knocked out. And then as like the adrenaline wears off, I start feeling all the pain. And yeah, I was pretty messed up, man. I broke my orbital bone. I broke my nose. I had to get stitches in my lip. I still got a little scar right there. I had to get stitches in my chin. I lost my front tooth. This thing, $5,000 right there. Yeah, that's a veneer. I had short-term memory loss, concussion, of course. I ruptured my pupil, so my pupil ruptured. I
didn't even know that was a possibility.
Yeah, me neither. But
my
pupil was like, it wasn't circle no more. It was like expanded, and it was kind of like a square oval.
Damn.
That don't even make sense, but it was not the way it should look. And
dude, it's so crazy.
I couldn't see out that eye for like 3 days, and I was pretty worried about that. But thankfully, I had a full recovery. Have no like permanent damage from it. So yeah, I can see perfectly fine.
Did the cops end up getting involved at some point?
They did.
Did they?
They did. Yeah, they had my plate on camera. Yeah. Obviously. So
drive through.
A couple of days later, yeah, they're knocking at my mom's door because it was registered to her address. And I was also at the same time I was trying to sue the kid to pay for all my medical bills. Had like $15,000 in medical bills, you know what I'm saying? So like me being in my 20s, like I don't really have that money to spend on medical bills.
I mean, at the end of the day, no one should be spending $15,000 on medical bills when they get punched in the back of the head.
Yeah,
it's
like
ridiculous.
Yeah, like I needed help, but yeah, I was trying to sue him, and so yeah, once the cops came knocking on the door, I was like, yeah, you know what? might as well file a report.
Might as well.
Try and get some bread from this, because I had no idea who anybody was. Couldn't even remember. Like I really don't even remember the situation 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, never found him.
They never found him?
Never found him. Never got a dollar.
That's so crazy.
It was felony assault.
I mean,
it was a bad charge.
That's fucking intense.
It is. It's
bro.
different fighting somebody face to face.
Yeah.
Sneaking someone from behind like that is so shitty. Especially when we were outnumbered. Like, that was not necessary to do that. You know what I'm saying? It is. It was very pussy shit. And the kid who hit me was huge, though. Because they looked at the footage. Mm-hmm. The dude was like 6'5".
Just knocking people out.
Dude knocked me the fuck out. I'm 5'9", bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
And you're not looking at him.
And
bro.
I'm not looking at you. Like, you did not need to hit me like that.
Dude, you could have just like shoved. You could have like pushed him in the back. Anything else, bro? Like, there's
Anything.
two
I had
on
my
6.
gun. I had my gun on me too. And yeah, I don't want to kill nobody. I would feel so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I never took the gun out.
Yeah.
Because the value of the human life is a lot.
It is.
I would have rather got knocked out than kill somebody that night, honestly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's egos can't do that. They're like, yeah.
A lot of people also don't understand that I'm a person who has a lot of regrets due to violence. I've been the guy who knocked out the guy who had to get surgery.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
People think that they're like, oh, something happens, I shoot somebody and kill them. Like, I don't care. They deserve it. It's like, it doesn't work that way, bro.
No.
There's a reason why these people who go overseas and kill fucking terrorists come back here and they're all fucked up. Because at the end of the day, they realize that was a human being. And it doesn't really necessarily matter that they're on the other team, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It still affects the humans. It hurts your fucking soul, dude. It takes away from you.
People look at, like, in the street and gang violence, it's so sad, bro, because they kill each other over talking shit.
Over literally nothing.
Over talking shit.
Nothing.
Like, oh, he said what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull up. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, no, that's crazy. The human life is the most valuable thing really there is. Like, and if you take that from someone, that's their soul.
Mm-hmm.
You took their soul, like the Grim Reaper or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's sad. I see the value in the human life, and the only reason I have a gun is just don't hurt.
Yeah.
Could save my life one day.
Could.
Especially if I have a family and stuff, I'd absolutely need to protect them.
Well, especially living in Florida, everyone's got a gun.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't have a gun, you're kind of a victim.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's like, you should definitely have one. I have one in my car. I have one under my bed, my mattress.
Mm-hmm. I
got 2 in my room. Yeah, I have a couple guns. They're good to have. You should get one if you don't have one.
I don't have one yet. I in Minnesota, I wasn't allowed to have a gun because of just the rules that they have in Minnesota. So now that I live here, I'm like, I'm getting a fucking gun.
Yeah, just for home protection, bro. You never know. Like, someone comes in and, God forbid, just tries to do some absolutely wild shit. Like, you just got to be able to protect yourself.
Well, and I got so many random people coming to my house all the time, bro. We've had
that's
probably,
true.
We
With
probably
the
had
podcast, they could scope your home out. You don't know who you're bringing in here, bro.
That's it, you know. And like I do like a couple rounds of phone calls and shit, but like psychos are psychos, bro. There's a reason why people get away with murder, you know. And like you don't. There's people who have been in a relationship with someone for a year and then they get murdered by them and they never saw it coming. Like, let alone like me, I have random people coming to my house. I've probably had 200 random people in my house in the last 6 months.
You've done that many podcasts?
We've shot probably like 80 podcasts, put 17 out.
Yeah.
And
so you don't put out every single one.
Mm-mm.
So you do it, and then what? You're just like, you tell them like, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality of the situation is this is the platform, and if it doesn't,
you need the best content.
Yeah, you wouldn't put out a shitty music video.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to put out a shitty podcast.
Yeah,
you know.
Right. You're right. Facts.
But
that's cool you do that, though, because sometimes you just got to let people know, like, hey, it wasn't a very good episode.
And I always feel bad when I have to do that, you know, like it sucks because it almost feels like you're telling them that like their story isn't good enough to be on this thing, but it's like there's so many other variables that add up to a bad podcast. It could be so many things. Like, we had to edit this out, which made this make not sense.
Like ours last time.
Yeah, you know, it's just certain things just don't work out, you know, and that's fine.
Facts. That's good you do that, though, because it's like me trying to work on my music, spend more time on it, put the best out that I can. You know, that's good you do that instead of just putting out everything.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's still some podcasts that I put about that I'm like, fuck. Like I kind of wish I wouldn't have, but hey, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, thanks for coming back on. I have a feeling this will not be our last podcast ever.
Dude, I'm happy to come back anytime.
Hell yeah.
Like I said, I love podcasts. I love what you're doing. I want to support it in any way that I can, you know.
I appreciate that.
Me being a guest, if I can support it that way, I'm 100% down.
Yeah, and I think I see some potential in you and I working together on just future content. I have some good ideas for some things that we could do on your TikTok, on my TikTok.
Yeah.
Some, you know, creators got to help other creators. That's just how it goes.
Absolutely.
So. All right, guys, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. If you want to find Kado, I will make it very easy. He's all over the internet. He's not a hard guy to find. I'll link his Spotify, Instagram, all that good stuff. So people will be able to find you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. Everyone have a good week, depending on when you see this. Take it easy.
Peace.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Baby, don't you leave me alone. I love it when you bother me. I really hate when you don't. Don't you ever think of leaving me out here on my own. Baby, don't you leave me alone. Like baby, don't you leave me alone. Don't you leave me alone. Don't you leave me alone. Baby, don't you leave me alone. I love it.